I want to apologize to our fan base, our students, everybody. That was just an awful performance. We were flat. We had no energy, and that is 100% on me. I've got to do some soul searching and look at our team, and this is 2 games in a row that 2 programs, Florida State and NC State, that we've had a lot of success against the last 3, 4, 5, 6 years. We're basically non-competitive against those 2 programs. That was not even a competitive football game, and it's my job to field a more competitive team. And clearly, I'm failing this season and in this game. That I'm not getting the job done right now. So it's on me. It's game 10, and to show up like that is really disappointing. So they outcoached us. I thought they were more physical on both sides of the line of scrimmage. Their defensive backs, I thought, outplayed our receivers. I think we had a chance to make contested catches, and I don't think we made one of them other than Deuce for the touchdown. Their skill on offense made our secondary miss. We missed a lot of tackles. On offense, we had false starts. We had 3 turnovers. On defense, we had missed tackles. We had a few personal fouls. So we're just, right now we've lost our way. Again, our defensive effort was good. On offense right now, we're broken. So this isn't anything like the offense we've put out there the last 6 years. And, I should have had us in a better spot with some of the personnel losses we had. We're not getting the most out of these guys. I think we have good players, but they're not playing well. And that always boils down to coaching. So credit NC State. They just completely outplayed us, outcoached us. And I even at the end of the game, I thought they could have scored there, and they took a knee, or it's even uglier. So I thought Dave showed a lot of sportsmanship in class by doing that, and then we want to get in fights with them. So it's just ugly right now. It's really ugly, really disappointing. I'm not happy, but I take full responsibility for it and try to get it fixed as much as we can the next 2 weeks.
Dave, you talked about soul searching and taking a look at things from a broader perspective. How do you do that 10 weeks into the season? You got 2 games in front of you. You have to win the game.
Yeah, we got to play the guys that are playing hard. So, again, very, very few bright spots, but I thought some of our young receivers went out there and made plays. Horatio Fields, Wesley Gimes, and Deuce Alexander were more productive than our starting receivers. They went out there and made plays. So, maybe we have to play those guys more. To me, they flashed. Now, it was late in the game, but they did some really good things. And, like I said, I don't mind losing a game. I don't want us to lose our way in our culture. And today, I haven't seen a mess like that in years. And again, the Florida State game was not good, but this one was this was worse than not good. This was non-competitive.
Dave, are you surprised that Armstrong was able to break so many tackles that he hadn't been playing in a while?
Well, he was fresh. So, he's a good athlete. He really is. When we played him at Virginia, if you look at his film from 2021 and how productive he was and all the plays he made, you don't lose that skill set. And the bottom line, John, is, they dominated us on both sides of the line of scrimmage. And when you do that, there's a lot of things you can do. It just seemed like every time they ran the ball that they got pushed and the cut was 2 or 3 yards deep into the line of scrimmage. And conversely, every time that we ran the ball, they had 2 guys or 3 guys in our backfield. We're trying to get them on the ball. We're trying to get him carries, and there's nowhere to go. I thought Michael Kern went out there and at least stabilized us a little bit. He hit some plays and had some drives. But again, then we had the the bad interception. You know, he hits Keyshawn on a play, and we're getting a little rhythm, and then he turns it over, and you know, the 2-point play is the 2-point play. It would have been nice to get him on the ground, but you know, I take these losses hard, and you know, I'm responsible for it. I'm not. There's no fingers, so I've done a bad job this year. I think I just took some things in our program for granted. You know, we've had a good run for 7 years, and I thought some of those things would carry over on offense and program-wise, and we've just we've lost our way. And whenever that happens, that is the responsibility of the head coach.
You mentioned emotionally in senior day. Did that almost kind of backfire today?
We're not a very good football team right now, John. I don't know how else to say it. We're not very good. So, go ahead, Tony.
You mentioned some of the younger receivers who stepped up and, as you said, played better than some of the starters. Are you concerned that some of the starters, some of the veterans are mentally and emotionally not checked in?
I mean, I don't think they're in a good place. I mean, for a lot of years there, right? We were, I think, last year the #1 passing offense in the ACC and top 5 in the country, and you know, those guys are used to going out there and getting open and have the ball delivered to them. And, you know, whether it's our struggles at quarterback or some of our protection issues, that hasn't happened this year. And, you know, after 10 weeks, that can start to wear on you. But as a competitor, you got to go out there and compete. And, you know, I thought there was contested catches today that I would expect our guys to make. You know, I think as a wide receiver, if you can get one-on-one coverage and you get a chance to make a play in a ball, that's all you can ask for. And, you know, at times, you know, we took a few shots down the sideline. I think we were 0 for 3 at outside, and we had a couple of other chances to make plays on the sideline, and we didn't, you know, we dropped the ball. We didn't come up with it. And when you're playing a defense like NC State that they're blitzing you and bringing an extra defender, you have to win contested catches. And part of the key to our success here, you know, has been, you know, Torian Perry and Donovan Green and Jamal Banks on the outside have made those plays for us. And we're not getting nearly as many of those plays this year. And so when you don't make those plays, there's no reason for teams to not blitz you and bring pressure. And, you know, when they're bringing one more than you can block, it's really hard to run the ball. So you got to be able to scare them out a little bit. And that's why we had a couple of those wide receiver screens today, that we hoped that would give us a quick throw and maybe hurt the blitz, and those never got out. And again, credit to them. So we got beat bad, guys. There's no other way of putting it. There's you know, there's no bright spot of today. It was a thorough ass kicking. I'll answer all your questions, guys, so you can, no rush. I'll get yours. Go ahead.
Quick question. I was just wondering, a couple weeks ago, you noted that at halftime you hadn't experienced quite a deficit like that in 4 to 5 years, but today you were down 21 points at the half. I was sort of wondering what your reaction was at the half, and then why you think the team was struggling to recover in the second half.
We're not playing very well right now. So, like I said at the beginning, you know, NC State, you know, we've beaten them 4 out of the last 6 years, and all those games have been super, super competitive games. Other than 19, we got them pretty good, and now we're not competitive with them. We're not competitive on either side of the line of scrimmage or on the perimeter. And Florida State, we had beaten them 3 years in a row, and that was a non-competitive football game. And so, you know, there's a new era in college football. My job is to navigate that area and figure out a way, okay? There's no excuses. My job is to figure out a way in 2023 to put a competitive football team on the field. And I would say for the most part in 2023, I haven't done a very good job of it. So, you know, we had a few close wins with ODU and Pitt, but, you know, this game, the Florida State game, were non-competitive football games. And that bothers me, you know, so I'm responsible for the recruiting and all the personnel and, you know, the preparation and all that. And when you get beat that bad, it's not one thing. It's a program issue.
Coach, on that first drive, it looked like Mitch Griffiths got a little bit hobbled on a run. Was that play a role in the change
Not,
of quarterback?
not at all. Nope. I mean, I think he was out there for 3 or 4 drives, and every time we were 3 and out. And, you know, we took 2 sacks. You know, the one play, you know, and again, the sacks aren't always on the quarterback, but we got to get rid of the football. And then just the one play, I mean, he was just supposed to hand the ball off. And for whatever reason, he did, and then he got sacked inside the 5-yard line. And so he just, you know, just didn't, he seemed off. And, you know, we went out there and we were 3 and out and not making any first downs. And Michael Kern was available, and you know, I got to think, we got to figure out where we are at quarterback moving forward. You know, so right now, you know, we gave Mitch certainly a lot of games. And if Michael Kern's healthy, you know, we got to look at him and see where we are at that position moving forward. Certainly have to evaluate it.
In a lot of ways, you looked at this as a year in which, you know, you retain a lot of your talent, you go into next year, like you said last week, I think you've only got 4 seniors leaving on the starting 2D, or the starting lineup. So many guys going through senior day ceremony, is there a concern with the team kind of struggling that you might not be able to retain as many as those guys?
Les, there's a concern. I mean, the reason they go through it is there's a concern about retaining any of them. I mean, whether it's our lack of success, whether they get offered X amount of money at another place. I mean, that's college football today. And, you know, where it's changed is, you know, I think what we did at Wake Forest is we built a program. And now with basically unrestricted free agency, it's almost like you build a team. You know, it's a year-to-year deal. So, I mean, we have some really good football players here. And we're going to try like crazy to keep our best players. Now, our best players will probably have other options, and whether that's the NFL or a name, image, likeness deal at another school, that's just the reality of football in 2023. And again, it's my job to figure out how to adapt to it and how to keep us competitive through this. That's my job. I have to figure that out. And, you know, you can certainly look back at this year and say, I probably, obviously I didn't do as good a job of that as I needed to.
I don't know if you're prepared to answer this, but at the beginning you said it requires some self-reflection on your part.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing to go into the film room tomorrow and look at what others did. How do you get to it? What are you going to do to have the self-reflection in such a short turnaround?
Tony, I mean, anytime we're not successful, I mean, trust me, I'm harder on myself than anybody. I mean, every time we lose, I always view it as, you know, my failure. What did I do wrong? What could I have done better? That's the first place I go. And, you know, for all these years, we won turnover margin. We're awful at turnover margin. We don't even give ourselves a chance, and I've been saying that for 10 straight weeks. You know, Georgia Tech, we turn it over 5 times. Today we turn it over 3. Last week against Duke in the 4th quarter, we turn it over twice. I mean, it's not correcting it. Coaching it like crazy. We're making a big deal of it at practice, and then we still go out there and we turn it over 3 times. You know, why do we not value the football when for 7 years we valued the football? So, you know, did I take it for granted? Did I assume? Did we not coach intensely enough? Are we not coaching details well enough? You know, our guys don't want to give the ball away, but we keep doing it. And so when a team keeps making the same mistake, that's a coaching failure. You know, and the self-reflection is, how do we play a rival and just show up with absolutely zero energy and being flat in our last home game for the seniors. So, again, I apologize to all the fans here today and all of our students that we played so poorly. That's You know, they come out and they support us and they spend good money for tickets, and there's no excuse for us to put out a performance that poor. So again, you know, if they want to boo me and, you know, say whatever they want about me, I'd say they're completely justified right now.
Coach, you said earlier that the team has lost its way.
I'd,
How-
I'd say if you look at the things we're now doing, turning the football over, personal fouls, that has not been the brand of Wake Forest football the past 7 years. We were the team that didn't do those things. You know, and I've said this before, we're never, ever, ever going to be talented enough here to beat people on talent. Again, we don't. We don't get the 4- and 5-star recruits. We're developmental. We're smart. We win the margins. And we're not talented enough to beat teams like Florida State and NC State, and we're losing the margins. And that part of it is coaching. So, you know, again, I don't know. I'm right now, I'm embarrassed how poorly we played. I'm embarrassed at our lack of discipline. I'm embarrassed we have 2 false starts on offense in our first 3 drives, and we end up 1st and 15. You know, I'm embarrassed we turned the ball over 3 times, you know, and I blame myself for all that. So, I mean, we've lost our way, and there's evidence that would say that that is the case. If you look how Wake Forest football has gone to 7 straight bowls, it was not doing those things, and now we're doing those things.
You bring up the bowls. Is there a way, and how does your team find its way in 2023 with bowl eligibility still on the table?
Well, we've got to do some soul searching collectively. You know, the same way that I feel, I would hope that all of our coaches feel that way and all of our players. You know, the only way it corrects is if you feel you're responsible for it. So, again, I'm the head coach. I'm responsible for the season, the game, everything we do as a program. And right now, I'm not performing at a well enough level, and that's my job. I would also hope some of our players could look in the mirror and look at the film and say, I'm not real proud what I put out there today.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, thanks. Yep.